we were looking to do an international trip, and we looked at some different options, but when John Dargenio and I both recognized that Cuba was an option, we thought that it was very unique and would give our student athletes opportunities beyond the court to just kind of understand the world, the bigger world around them. And I really think, in retrospect, we couldn't have chosen a better place. The tour group that took us did a phenomenal job. I think it's safe to say our players learned so much about themselves on the court, off the court, as a family, as a team. So I think this trip will have residual effects for years to come. Well, number one, we stayed healthy, which was a big thing. Anytime you take a foreign tour in the summer, you want to make sure you come out healthy, and I think we certainly did. They were very, very physical games. They were, women in their mid-20s who represented their national team. So we got punched in the mouth right away, literally and figuratively, and it was great to see our players respond. I definitely got some questions answered in the post. I thought Ella and Maddie did a phenomenal job, and I think they're going to be, if their development continues on this track, we won't skip a beat from losing Megan, which was a big question mark in my mind. And surprisingly, Karolina Severova, to me at least, by the end of the trip, needed the ball in her hands to shoot, which was nice to see. We have some open spots on the perimeter as far as just being a pure shooter, and she really stepped up. So I have a lot of confidence in her moving forward as well. I think we have a lot of leaders on our team, and I think Collins is at her best when she's doing a little bit of everything. She can score. She's really worked on her ability to shoot from the perimeter. She's relies on rebounding on the offensive side and the defensive side. She's physically strong. She's the most fit she's probably ever been. But I think Collins' strength is her versatility. And so to have that kind of a seasoned player is invaluable in our locker room. It's challenging. This is probably the most challenging schedule we've had, other than the 2 years ago when we played in the WNIT. But this is a very challenging schedule. 2 Big Ten teams on the road, going into hostile environments, opening at Penn State on homecoming weekend. That'll be an experience in and of itself. Having Florida Gulf Coast come here, having to go to Harvard, having to go to Rutgers, to Hofstra. We'll see what kind of resiliency and toughness we have, because there's no gimmies on our schedule this year at all. I think we will see, my hope is that we will see a very balanced attack this year, not relying on one player over another, and hopefully tough to defend. I think we've improved our strength. I think we've improved our quickness. I think the big question mark for us is going to be our consistency from the perimeter and our ability to shoot. We went to Cuba without Anna, and she's playing with her Swedish national team, and Sabrina didn't play in Cuba as well. So those are 2 freshmen from last year moving forward as sophomores who hopefully have developed and worked on their games. I like our freshmen a lot. I think Deedee Winston, is a consummate point guard, and she's so explosive, but she's a point guard. So having to be able to buffer behind Deja will be important for her development as well. Another question I got answered in Cuba was Joella Gibson, who the kid is just so tough. She just brings a Teresa Coles type toughness to the court. You don't always know what's going to happen, but she makes plays and she hustles, and I think that's invaluable. Having 5 seniors, we do have a veteran squad. And the last person I haven't talked about is Lilia Jones, who, transferring in from Fordham, she's shown the ability to score in multiple ways. If she can stay healthy, I think she adds another scoring punch to our lineup. I think we have different faces, but I think you'll see a similar style with how we're going to play. We're going to try to get up and down and push where we can, but we hopefully will be able to execute and pull it back and make sure that we get high percentage shots when needed. You'll see a pressing team. You'll see a matchup. It's funny, in Cuba, we didn't put any of that in, and then halfway through the second game, I'm like, forget it. We're make-miss right now, and the kids really buy into it, and that's where their comfort zone is. So you'll see a lot of blizz. You'll see, hopefully, a tougher defensive team. That was one area that disappointed me a little bit last year. We did focus so much on scoring and offense, and there was a lot of improvement there with how many points per game we averaged. But we've got to be a tougher, hard-nosed defensive team if we want to challenge the teams at the top of the league this year.